It's 8:47 on a Monday morning in Mumbai. Local train. One hand on the pole. One hand on a phone. A salary credit notification pops up. For exactly 3 seconds, life feels stable. Then the second message arrives. Home loan EMI deducted. Car loan EMI deducted. Credit card auto debit scheduled. Health insurance premium reminder. School fees due next week. And just like that, the safe life starts gasping for air. Because the middle-class dream isn't built on freedom. It's built on certainty. A fixed job. A fixed EMI. A fixed plan. But here's the uncomfortable truth nobody says out loud. The more you try to buy safety, the more stress you accidentally subscribe to. Not because you're bad with money, because the system rewards you for looking stable, while making stability fragile. Let me show you how that works in plain language. No finance poetry, just the mechanics. Picture a typical salaried person. Let's call him Rohit. Rohit is not reckless. Rohit is responsible. He doesn't gamble. He doesn't do crypto at 2 a.m. He doesn't YOLO. He does the correct things. He studies, gets a degree, gets a job. He starts saving. He buys insurance. He plans a wedding. He takes a home loan because rent feels like wasting money. He buys a car because family says it's needed. He invests in SIPs because Instagram said compound interest. From outside, Rohit looks sorted. But inside, Rohit is running a private economy that has one problem. Every month, his life has fixed outflows. But his income is not actually fixed. You feel fixed because the salary comes on a date. But your salary is not a law of physics. It's a business decision made by someone else. Now, why does this matter right now? Because the last few years have quietly changed the definition of safe. Job markets are faster. Companies cut quicker. Expenses don't rise politely, they jump. Medical costs don't ask for permission. Interest rates can move. EMIs can move. And lifestyle expectations? They move the fastest. So middle-class people do what they've always been taught to do in uncertain times. They buy safety. And that's where the trap begins. Let's break down what buying safety usually means. It means converting fear into monthly payments. Home loan EMI. Car EMI. Insurance premium. A shiny phone on EMI because cash flow matters. A membership because health is important. A second credit card because emergency backup. Each decision feels small. Each one feels like protection. But together they build a machine that demands one thing from you every month. Don't miss a payment. And the moment your life becomes, don't miss a payment. You're not living a stable life. You're managing a risk system. Here's the irony. The middle class buys safety in the form of assets and commitments. But what they're really buying is fixed obligations. And fixed obligations don't create safety. They create pressure. Pressure is not always visible. It looks like normal life, but it shows up in weird places. You check your bank app more often. You feel anxious on the 20th of every month. You avoid changing jobs even when you should. You can't take risks, not because you're scared, but because you're booked. Booked by your own plan. Now let's talk about the first big safety purchase, the house. In India, a house is not just shelter. It's respect. It's security. It's proof you did life correctly. And financially, it can be a great move. But only when the math matches the story. Here's the part people don't say during the housewarming. A home loan doesn't just buy you a home. It buys you a schedule, often 20 years. That is 240 months of needing your income to behave. And most people calculate affordability like this. My EMI is 35% of my salary. Banks allow it. I can manage. What they don't calculate is this. What happens when 3 things happen together? 1, your expenses rise. 2, one emergency hits. 3, your income slows even temporarily. Because real life doesn't attack you one problem at a time. Real life does combos. Let's do a simple picture. Rohit earns $1,000 a month. Sounds solid. He takes a home loan. EMI $35,000. Car EMI $12,000. Insurance and other premiums $3,000. Basic household expenses $35,000. We haven't even added travel, festivals, helping parents, a sudden repair, or a small vacation. Already, his fixed and semi-fixed total is around $85,000. So Rohit has $15,000 left. That $15,000 is supposed to do everything else. Savings, investments, unexpected costs, fun, future. Now watch how safety becomes stress. 1 month, Rohit's company delays appraisal. No increment, but milk is costlier. Rent maintenance is up. Petrol is up. Then his car insurance renewal hits. Then a cousin's wedding. Nothing dramatic, just normal India. The $15,000 becomes $5,000. Then becomes $3,000. So Rohit uses the credit card. And because Rohit is responsible, he doesn't overspend. He worked hard for it. 40 hours this week, maybe more. Overtime last Thursday, a late meeting on Friday. He feels responsible, productive, stable. This is what being financially responsible looks like. Right? Now imagine another person waking up at the exact same moment. No alarm, No commute, no boss. But when they checked their bank account, money appeared there too. Not because they worked yesterday, because something they own worked for them. A building collected rent. A stock paid a dividend. A fund grew quietly overnight. Two people woke up at the same time. One traded hours for money. The other owned something that produced money. And that difference seems small at first. But over 20 or 30 years, it becomes one of the most powerful financial divides in modern society. Not intelligence, not effort, not education. Mindset, specifically the middle-class mindset. A mindset that quietly trains millions of people to work for money, while the wealthy focus on buying things that make money. And the strange part? Most people never notice the difference until it's too late. Because the system that creates this divide is subtle. It doesn't look like a trap. It looks like responsibility. It starts when you're young. You're told a simple formula for success. Study hard, get good grades, find a stable job, work hard, save money. This advice isn't evil. In fact, it's practical. But something is missing from the equation. You're taught how to earn money, but almost never how money itself works. School rarely explains the difference between income and assets, or how the financial system rewards ownership far more than labor. So people graduate understanding how to write essays, but not how capital grows. And that gap matters, because the modern economy runs on assets, not paychecks. Let's start with a simple idea. There are two ways money can come into your life. You can work for it, or you can own something that produces it. That's it. That's the entire system. Working creates income. Ownership creates wealth. The middle class is trained almost entirely around the first one. Work harder, work longer, climb the ladder, negotiate raises, save carefully. The wealthy focus on the second. Acquire assets, let them produce income, buy more assets. Repeat. And over time, the gap between these two approaches compounds in ways that are almost invisible at first, but enormous later. To understand why, we need to look at a quiet but powerful piece of math. Compounding. Compounding is the process where money grows. And then the growth itself starts producing more growth. Imagine you save $10,000. If it earns 7% a year, after 1 year you have $10,700. Not very exciting, but the next year, the growth happens on the new total. Then again, and again. 30 years later, that same 10,000 becomes more than 70,000. Without additional work. That's the magic of compounding. But here's the uncomfortable twist. Compounding works far better with assets than with labor. Your salary does not compound in the same way. Raises are usually small, maybe 3%, maybe 5% if you're lucky. And many people reset their finances every year with expenses. Rent increases, car payments, lifestyle upgrades, which means the salary growth rarely builds unstoppable momentum. Assets do. A rental property collects rent every month. Stocks can pay dividends and rise in value. Businesses reinvest profits and expand. And the wealthiest individuals on earth rarely rely on salaries. Look at the numbers. According to U.S. tax data, the majority of income for the ultra-wealthy comes from capital gains, dividends, and business ownership, not wages. Even CEOs often receive far more wealth from stock ownership than from their official salary. So while millions of workers compete for raises, asset owners watch their holdings quietly multiply. But if this is so powerful, why doesn't everyone just buy assets? Because the middle-class mindset encourages spending patterns that delay asset ownership. Let's walk through a common financial timeline. Someone graduates college at 22. They find a job. Maybe their salary is $50,000. The first instinct is stability. Rent a nicer apartment. Buy a reliable car. Upgrade the phone. Nothing unreasonable. Then the promotions come. Income rises to $70,000. Maybe $80,000. Life improves. Bigger apartment. Better car. Vacations. Still responsible. Still saving a little. But something subtle has happened. Income increased. Expenses followed. Financial pressure remained roughly the same. Economists call this lifestyle inflation. When earnings grow, spending quietly grows alongside it. The middle-class mindset often treats rising income